independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Worst case scenario is that the meeting is tense, that they aren't able to come to any agreement to move this relationship on the path forward, the way the president would like to see it go. There are going to be 2 press conferences after this meeting. President Biden, President Putin. They're not going to be together like President Trump did a couple years ago. That means that both will come out and spin their take on this meeting. It's a little hard to do that when you're not standing next to Vladimir Putin to say, that's not what happened. Here's my side of the story.
Yeah. The Pooter gets a chance to sit down and look over at Biden, and Biden gets a chance to look at the Pooter. But what's it going to do? Nothing. I can tell you what it's going to do. They're going to accuse each other of stuff. He's going to say stuff like, you guys are coming after us for cyber warfare and you're allowing all this crap to go on. Blah, 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 blah. Now you got political prisoners like Naftali, and he's going to say, you guys killed George Floyd and you guys got political prisoners. We saw what happened at the Capitol. Blah, 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 blah. And they're going to go and spin it all around, and then nothing's going to come out of it, and that's the way that's going to go. Because that's the world that we live in, and there's not going to be any there, or drama.
For Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden, this is really a scene setter, a prologue, a diplomatic dance to see where the other's red lines are. But both of them have had some very tough talk leading up to this. Both of them seem to have already drawn those red lines, especially about cybersecurity.
Here's the average person's thought. I don't care. I don't care. The media is trying to gin this up as if, oh, my God, this is going to be huge. People don't care. You know people are missing, especially the media? Chaos. The craziness. It's like, oh, we hate Trump. God, but his paychecks are nice. But we can't stand him. But people are listening. We don't pay attention to the chaos, but we kind of do. The average person cares very little about Putin. If you walked on the street and showed a picture to 100 people, if 60% got it right, I'd be shocked. But the cyber stuff and this, that, and the other, those are all very real things. They even asked the Poots.
Mr. President, are you waging a cyber war against America?
Where is the evidence? Where is
everywhere?
Proof? It's becoming farcical. We know it well. We have been accused of all kinds of things, election interference, cyber attacks, and so on and so forth. And not one time did they bother to produce any kind of evidence or proof, just unfounded accusations.
You could walk in tomorrow with people who are Russian who said they did this based on what you said, and you'd be like, what is the evidence? I see no evidence. These people are fake. It's fake. It's not real. Non-real people. This is all baloney. Give me my bear. We're leaving. I mean, nobody cares. That's the reality of nobody. The average person isn't paying attention because it's not theater. Trump brought theater, right? Trump brought theater to so many things, and he was a wild card. And Putin is Putin. He's got nothing to worry about, right? He doesn't. This whole EU meeting like today was one of those things where it's another one of those EU meetings. So we had the G7, we had the EU, we had the usual continual apology tour.
I've said both publicly and privately that America's back and this is why we're here in full force.
America's back. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't. You didn't like the last guy. Fine. Some people don't like this guy. America's back, which means what? We're back as the world's ATM machine when needed. That's what it means. But there's no theater. That's one thing about Trump, man. He offered theater, right? And he was kind of that gunslinger that was a little like, hey, tonight could be great or we could end up in a gunfight. Probably going to end up in a gunfight at some point in time. That's kind of what Trump was. Kept people on their toes. Didn't always agree with a lot of the stuff he did. I think at times he overstepped it, but I also think the media blew stuff up. But at the end of the day, for the media, it was good theater. There's no theater here with him. There isn't. They're in theater here with him. Even our buddy over there, Greg Gutfeld, talked about it.
These comments about China, I coined a phrase, the soft language of no expectations, which the media is already in the process of portraying as adult. Isn't this adult? The idea of cooperation being adult. What I've always tried to push is that I would rather have my leader be like an agent or a lawyer that everybody hates. So they don't expect cooperation and that they know it's going to be hard. I don't want them to have, I want the freak show. You know, I don't want this civilized photo op. To me, it's just another game.
It is. It's all theater. Did you guys see them with their mask on? They all have their mask on and they do the arm thing where they knock elbows. And then, like, cameras catch them all later and they're hugging each other. They got their mask off. It's like, that's such theater. Because that's what it is. It's all theater. None of it's real. The difference is Trump gave you the theater at the beginning, the middle, and the end. And some of it was a horror show. Some of it was a freak show. I'm not advocating for Trump. Again, I like some of his policies, didn't like some of them. But when you're talking about the pooter, he's laughing. He's got nobody to worry about. Nobody's going to keep score on this. And yeah, every once in a while, it's okay to have somebody who was a little bit off in certain situations where they were like, not quite sure. Not quite sure what's going on here with this guy. Take a step back. Trump was that guy at times. But it's civilized now. Civilized doesn't mean you get anything done. I agree with Greg Gutfeld. It's like one of those things where your agent, like you go look at big athletes, and then there's a time where you're like, oh, they roll their eyes because they know this agent is coming in full bore and he wants everything and he's going to push people around. He's going to try to do everything for his client. So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun to watch the way that people report on this. Do I think it's going to be a situation where Russia's going to respect us more or less, or that the world we're coming together, we're all friends now? No, I don't, because at the end of the day, he's going to go back and he's going to laugh, and vice versa. They're going to laugh at us. We're going to laugh at them. They're going to call us liars. We're going to call them liars. Nothing will change.
So, Andy, in terms of what may happen in the future, do you think that we are ready for another pandemic, which inevitably is going to come and affect us?
I don't think we are. And I don't think we are for a couple reasons. One is I think we need to have a dialogue in this country about what matters. Is it more important for us to have our individual liberties?
Yes, period. Case closed. End of story. Thanks so much, Andy Slavitt.
That we don't wear a mask? Or is there some common good that we should all be working towards?
Common good's great, but individual liberties matter. Liberties matter. Freedoms matter. Let's go back again. That giant piece of paper, right? We got the Constitution. That is not there as some sort of, it's a lark. We'll just put it out here. No, it's there to say, hey, this is a roadmap to your success. This is a roadmap to your protections. Your protections from them. The fact that he would go, well, I don't know. What's more important, your individual liberties? Yeah, individual liberties are pretty important. They're fairly important. I would say of all of the importance that has to do here in this country, individual liberties are at the top of the list, because without those individual liberties and without those protections, what are we? We're not America. Now, could we have done better? Yes. Did we need to fight as much? My God, yesterday somebody was shot and killed, and we're still fighting over masks. Enough is a freaking enough. It's a mask. Don't tell me, it's going to save everybody, when we know the reality is, unless you're wearing a certain type of mask, it's pretty much for theater. At the same time, wear a mask for 5 minutes, get your deodorant, get out of the damn store, and you don't have to confront everybody who gets in your face. Will we have another pandemic? I don't know. I'm 50 years old. This is the first one I've been through. But she seemed pretty serious about, give me another one. Oh, how do you know? We don't, but it's going to be. It has to happen.
I think we'll do a better job technically. I think we will put the money into public health that we need. I think we'll have woken up a little bit. I also think our experience with the pandemic will hopefully allow us to respond better. But a divided country with leaders that play against our greatest fears, which divide us, we're going to have trouble again. So hopefully we'll learn some of those lessons.
We won't, because we have a very small attention span. And the other thing is we're sitting here now going, maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought. And we realized the mask didn't work the way that we thought. And then on top of that, we also realized that maybe, just maybe, they were taking certain data and flipping it around and making things worse. So even if there is something that worse that shows up, we already have even more people that are not trusting in what's going on. The fact that you would come out and say, well, individual liberties, are they really that important? I think they are, Andy Slavitt. I think they're very important. And yes, we can do a better job and we can be civil. At the same time, let's not be insane. We don't know how to do that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Hope all is well. Happy Tuesday. A lot of stuff to get to today, including the renaming of school holidays. Wait till you hear what they're called now. Fantastic. Flight attendant loses it. Yeah. And this is, again, whatever happened to crazy. That's just a truthful story. Whatever happened to crazy. Raycon, best earbuds around. Crazy if you don't get them. Right now, they start well under $100. Great colors, amazing sound quality, and noise isolating fit, especially with the new soft gel tips that are second to none. And the carrying case that you get. So they come in this beautiful case. You plug it in, you charge it up. It is a charging case. You take it with you. You don't have to worry about plugging it back in. It charges up your earbuds. Different colors, different styles, seamless Bluetooth pairing, no stems, no wires. If you're looking to do something for summer, change it up, get yourself something amazing. These are what it's all about. Raycons are incredible. If you're looking for a sound quality that's second to none, Raycons are incredible. If you're looking to get dad something, Raycons are what dad needs. Go right now. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Save an extra 15%. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Save that extra 15%. Chad Benson Show.
If you like talk radio like Chad Benson likes his meals, you've come to the perfect place for takeout.
What you're listening to, two people that are standing in an aisle at a Walgreens in San Francisco, watching a man who's ridden a 10-speed into one of the aisles. Looks like the aisle where they have all the beauty products, and it looks like the aisle where they got that plastic thing that has all the razors in it, right? And the guy snapped it open, and he's got a giant, hefty bag, and he's sitting on his bike pouring stuff into the hefty bag.
Wow.
To the bewilderment of everybody just sitting there watching him do it. He keeps pouring stuff into it. And away he rides. Just nonchalant. It's almost like he didn't care. Because here's the rule now. Well, Walgreens, like most places, right? You don't confront people who are stealing things. We'll get them later. Except that's fine if you live in a city that's all about, we'll get them later. Many of these cities, especially these uber progressive cities, they don't care, right? What was the law they passed or tried doing up there in Oregon? It's like up in, was it Seattle? The city of Seattle tried to pass a law like theft of necessity. Like, so if somebody comes in and steals food, that might be necessity because they're hungry. So we're going to just turn our back. You wonder why stuff's more expensive. And then you wonder why Walgreens and many other stores are closing their stores across the country in certain areas. And then people are forced to go to cheap little convenience stores to get all their goods or shop elsewhere further out of town because it's not worth it. The amount of money they're losing. This guy rolls in on a 10-speed and basically says, What are you going to do? Nothing. And here's the other thing. You know what the police are going to do? Nothing. 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 That's it. Enjoy. I was thinking to myself, we might as well go shopping, right? Let's all head to Walgreens, San Francisco, see what we can get. What do you have for pool toys? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from all of you. Again, the big meeting tomorrow. Biden and Putin. Biden's going to come in there very adult-like. Guaranteed he's wearing a mask to show the world that's what you need to do all the while. You don't at this point in time. Secondly, does Putin ride in on a horse with no shirt? Or how about a bear? So bring a bear in?
I think they're certainly lowering expectations on what they get out of this. There might be some cooperation, as President Biden said, but there's so many differences. They just have to learn how to manage those differences.
Here's how they manage them. Biden will be gone in 4 or 8 years, or if you're living in another world, a couple weeks, couple months, 6 months, 8 months, depending. Biden will be gone. And Putin will still be there. He didn't go anywhere. He got nobody to answer to. And he's going to sit there and continually look at them and say, no, lies. No. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to both, instead of holding their joint press conferences, run into the other room, call each other liars, and then nothing will have changed. All the while, China's laughing. The Russians are laughing. And have we gained anything? No, we haven't. But I'm interested to see what Biden, I hope Biden calls him out for all kinds of crap. I would love to see that. We'll see if he does. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. School in New Jersey is changing the name of the holidays. What's not to offend anyone? And the Girl Scout cookies. There's a plenty available. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Can I just say this? Of all the places to have an emergency, we talk about this, right? Like the one place, like, you got an issue in your car, you can pull over. Like that's something. That's, you're like, all right, I get that, right? You're driving on a bus, there's an emergency, pull over. 33,000 feet in the air is the last place you're like, hey, we got a real issue here. And the last thing you want to hear is, I'm going to take down the plane. I'm taking down the plane. And the person saying it is wearing a helmet, elbow, and knee pads. You'd be like, I think this guy's thinking he's really going to take down the plane because he came dressed for it.
The skies weren't so friendly on Delta Flight 1730 Friday night. The pilot turning to passengers for help during the cross-country trip from Los Angeles to Atlanta.
We'd like all strong males to the front of the aircraft to handle the problem passenger.
Moments earlier, the unruly passenger and off-duty Delta flight attendant yelling and struggling with others mid-flight next to the cabin door.
Everyone was completely shaken up. It was extremely scary.
First of all, it's like we like all strong, handsome people to the front of the plane. I don't think so. But that's the last thing you want to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, you see over to the left, it's the Grand Canyon looking beautiful as ever. And if ginormously strong people can come to the front of the plane, we have somebody who's lost his effing mind. Here's what will never happen again in flight. No one will ever take over an airplane again unless the pilot's in on it. just isn't going to happen. It's not. But Crazy doesn't know that. And Crazy thought, well, crazy stuff.
This individual had claimed that they would take the plane down. Now, according to that Delta spokesperson who confirms that it was in fact one of their flight attendants who was traveling aboard that flight off duty at the time of this incident. What initially started this is when this individual started using the onboard PA system to make various announcements. And when the air crew tried to address that is what initially started this altercation. Witnesses describe as this individual attacking two of the flight attendants on board. That's when many of these extremely brave passengers and sprang into action.
Who are you hiring? Just out of curiosity, who is it that you're hiring? You're like, hey, this guy's going to be awesome. Yeah, fantastic. No. It goes back to, once again, how did so-and-so get on the airplane? Anybody know? Because people were reporting, he seemed a little odd. Yeah, the helmet gave it away. If I go to a movie theater today and I'm sitting down and it's a packed theater and a guy shows up in full attire for a sporting event of which we are not playing, I'm thinking to myself, I think there could be some issues. Now, I'm not saying this person's going to do anything bad. I'm just saying there may be issues.
Delta says that off-duty flight attendant used the intercom but did not try to get into the cockpit or open the plane's door. The man who's facing several charges was transported to the hospital in Oklahoma City and questioned by the FBI.
Yeah, I should hope so. And they're probably like, this guy's nuts. Is that your professional assessment? It is. I will write that down somewhere. Dude is crazy.
The plane making an emergency landing in Oklahoma City, where it was swept by police and cleared. Passengers say the man's appearance raised eyebrows even before the flight.
That's, to me, where you go, excuse me? Oh, we're not serving yet. No, I know that. I understand that. Just could you come here? Yeah. He's wearing armor. It's like, is there something I should know? Is this like, are we expecting a choppy flight? Because it's understandable, but he looks like he's really expecting a choppy flight, and maybe somebody should go, maybe somebody who works with him goes, God, I don't know if Gary's doing well.
Seen wearing a helmet, elbow and knee pads, and acting strange. Authorities pointing to signs of mental health issue.
It's not very nice, Chad. I'm just saying, nobody thought at the beginning when he's getting on, I'm going to say something. No, don't do it. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to say something. Steve, come here. Yeah. What's with the getup? Just curious. Is this a hockey game on the plane? You play lacrosse? What's the deal? I was really excited. Travel's dangerous. You guys know that. Oh, my Lord. And the fact that you also, the last thing you want to hear is the pilot going, can some people come up and get this cat? You're never going to take over an airplane again. I just want everybody to understand that. It's never happening. Worry about, now, the thought process, though, was that was for people that were just flying. Like, I'm getting on and I'm flying somewhere. Not people who work for the airplane companies, who work for the giant airline industries. That's a whole new bag of crazy. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson shows your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Speaking of crazy, I don't even know how we get here, right? Like how it starts. It was somebody's like, you know what? Maybe we should look at changing the name of this day, or maybe there are other things that we can talk about when it comes to said day. And then lo and behold, skip forward, 5-10 years, and we live in a world where we can't have nice things. Nobody can ever say anything to anybody. Everybody's terrified of, and they're self-censoring themselves to the point where they're not even willing to say anything that may offend somebody, which will also offend somebody for not saying something, because they're going to say, well, you didn't say it because I'm black, or because somebody's going to say it because they're gay, or because they're whatever it is. This is a new form of insanity here in Jersey.
Last month, the Randolph, New Jersey Board of Education voted to change Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day on its calendar of school holidays, a decision that upset many. Andre Dimina was executive board member of the Italian-American One Voice Coalition.
They said that they know that a number of other places were changing it because of the questionable background of Columbus, which we believe is totally based on false lies and false accusations. But that's why they changed it to Indigenous Peoples Day.
False lies, false accusations, lots of false stuff going on there. What we believe happened is Columbus came and he's like, forget about it. We're here. We're having fun. This is good. So they're removing Columbus, which has been happening all over the place. Why can't you have two? Why can't you just go, we're going to keep Columbus Day? It's really important, especially in places that have huge Italian populations. Very important. But why don't you say, look, everywhere else, you guys, you know what? The next Thursday or the next Friday, that could be Indigenous Peoples Day. Everybody's happy. But no, we decided to go the opposite way.
We've got nothing against Indigenous people, and they should be celebrated. Just don't take away Columbus Day.
At the board's follow-up meeting Thursday night on the Columbus Day change, it then decided to remove the names of all holidays from the school calendar and refer to the day as school closed.
School closed. So that's it. So any holidays now, school closed. That's what it looks like on the calendar. School closed. What do you guys say? Hey, I'm taking off December 25th. What day is that? It's school closed day. Now, what day is it? Say it. Say it. Who's offended? Who's offended? People are offended. And it only takes one nowadays for somebody to be offended. And they're like, well, we better do whatever that person says or else, they're going to go to Twitter and we're going to all be in trouble. We don't have to change everything in the world for some. Some people you could just look at and say, look, I understand, and we're going to work on having Indigenous Peoples Day. Totally fine with that. Right? So we can't, but we're not going to get rid of everything because you don't like it.
So now instead of just insulting Italian Americans by removing Columbus Day, they've removed all the other holidays like Martin Luther King Day, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and all the other holidays are now voted out.
Not all at Thursday's meeting were opposed to the change.
No one is deleting Columbus from the curriculum. We can acknowledge why we stand on this soil without putting the people who stole it on a pedestal.
We're going to go back. And then, of course, we can go back and go, but they stole it from somebody, and then somebody else did something. Enough. Why can't everybody have their own day? Right? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Doesn't everybody get a trophy? Why can't we do the same thing? Why do we have to get like he's a Yom Kippur? What? We're keeping Yom Kippur? No, we're not even doing that. No, we're not keeping Yom Kippur? No, we're not. It's just, but it shows you, and I say this because this, my friend yesterday, my on-air partner for my local show, he and I were talking. He's like, I didn't really understand woke, and and we started working together about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he said, I didn't really understand the woke thing, and he goes, you're right. He goes, at first I thought, nobody really cares about that. I'm like, dude, it permeates into everything, right? It permeates into every little thing that's out there. Is this crazy wokeness? And if you don't pay attention to it, subtly it overtakes you. And the next thing you know, you're spending half your day inside of Zoom meetings about the things you can and can't say, what you can and can't do, things that were once okay that are now going to get you in trouble, things that you didn't even know offended people that are now going to get you in trouble. I mean, some of this stuff is insane. I was at a radio station several years ago where we had to go through one of those meetings, right? So everybody's in there, and this was for the on-air staff and the like production staff and stuff like that. And the lady that was leading it said, even the stuff you say on the radio, if somebody inside of your office finds that offensive, even though the listeners like it, you could still be in trouble. And I'm like, well, what are we doing here then? Just play music 24/7 that's boring as hell, and we'll all go on our merry way. So now we're just going to have day off. Hey, tomorrow's day off. Happy day off. Day off bells, day off bells. It's stupid. It really is. But when you give into one, they'll come back and ask for more. And when you continue to do that over and over and over again, what do you think's going to happen? They'll continue to come back. 323-538-2423 at Chad the Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet and text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. The love, the hate. If you guys want to see that video in San Francisco of the guy going into a Walgreens and with his 10-speed while on it, sitting there with a giant black hefty bag and putting as much stuff as he can throw into it and then carrying and writing it out. Check out the Twitter because it is nuts. It is crazy. And this is what happens when cities have zero consequences for people who do stupid things. And it's like, why don't people want to come to San Francisco anymore? It's super expensive. It smells like urine and poop, and people steal stuff. I wonder why. I do. MyPillow, right now, get a great night's sleep, a phenomenal night's sleep. MyPillow has the MyPillow, the one that started it all, on sale. $29.98. That's for the queen, $5 more for the king. 10-year warranty, made in the USA, withstands washing, drying, lowest price ever, 6-day money-back guarantee. What are you waiting for? Don't sleep poorly anymore. Don't wake up with a sore neck or just feel exhausted throughout the day. Get the best night's sleep. Go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener square. Enter promo code Benson or call 800-983-4975. While you're there, huge discounts on the Giza Dream Sheets, the mattress topper, the My Slippers, the towels, you name it. Grab all these deep discounts. Again, 60-day money-back guarantee. Get your premium MyPillow for only $29.98. Promo code Benson at MyPillow.com or call 800-983-4975. Chad Benson Show.
Warning, no snowflake zone. Uninformed opinions are in danger of melting. The Chad Benson Show.
The area of Leimert Park, a historically black neighborhood in South L.A., is getting a new public high school created by Dr. Dre and music mogul Jimmy Iovine. The two tell the LA Times they'll do and spend whatever it takes to make it work. Iovine says the school's for kids who want to start their own company or work at a place like Marvel or Apple. The curriculum will combine creativity, technology, and business. Dre wants to reach the inner city kid, he says, the younger him. It'll open in fall of next year.
Yeah, how cool is that? And it's needed. We got to get our kids moving in the right direction. We got our kids focused on things that matter. You know, kids are going to school nowadays, and they're spending God knows how much time on stuff that at the end of the day doesn't matter. That at the end of the day, you're looking around saying, look at all this crap that they're learning that has zero play for anything that truly matters. They should be focusing on stuff that's real. What's real? Science. Tech. It's great to have some well-rounded portion of what you do. But let's focus where focus needs to be. And I think that's that school that Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine are putting together. It's going to be awesome. Let's focus on the real things, man. Like, so that's what I tell my son. Dude, I don't care what you do in the computer world. Learn to code. Learn to code. Learn to code. Learn how to stop the bad guys as best that you can. You will work for a very long time. But I see my son's fortunate because he goes to a school that is very much about the future. It's a super STEM school, and he's been coding since he was like straight out of kindergarten. They were starting to learn how to code their first portion of games. He's been, he loves it. But I look at my other little brothers, and they're just, I'm like, what are you learning? What is this crap? that has nothing to do with tomorrow. Well, we're making rounded individuals. You don't need to make a well-rounded individual. How about somebody who's functional in life? That's all we're looking for. Have you been outside? Have you met people? That's a big ask. Just a little functionality from day to day. That's all I think people are looking for. Arm them with the tools that'll make them a success for tomorrow. The stuff that really isn't a huge portion of what's going on. And it doesn't mean, we get rid of English. No, you don't. You get rid of history? No, you don't. You don't get rid of math, but maybe they don't need some of these extracurricular, like, home ec. I took floriculture for 2 years, or a year and a half that I went to high school here in America. Floriculture. Why'd you do that? Mostly because I knew I was going to be the only guy in there. Plus, I'm like, this is pretty easy. This can't be that hard. It wasn't. Did I really need to do that? No. Would I have rather had an opportunity for several other things? Bring back the trade side of stuff. Start to look at schools and kids and say, all right, you know what? Jimmy, not going to be computer awesome here. He can get around on the web. How about we focus where he is good, which is with tools and his hands? Shouldn't be this hard. We make it hard. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The president saying that they're not expecting a major breakthrough, that there's no significant takeaway to come away from this beyond just talking. So if they do agree to something, that's going to be a big win for President Biden. He says he's going to push Vladimir Putin on cybersecurity, on Russia's election interference, Ukraine, and human rights.
Oh. And then Putin's going to say, your elections are a hot mess. Look what's going on with, the audit. On top of all of that, look what happened on January 6th. How many people are you guys incarcerating? And they'll go back and forth with each other. Then they're going to come out and they're going to tell everybody in separate press conferences what a bunch of liars the other side was. And nothing will come of it. Not a thing. Not a thing. I don't expect anything to come other than a few shots of them standing there and not smiling, or and they'll say something kind of nice about the other guy, and then they'll wander away. But nothing's going to come out of this. It's going to go, ooh, well, look at that, changed everything. It did. No, that's just not happening.
Joe Biden seems to be going right out of a diplomatic map. He talks about him as a worthy adversary, a little flattery there, a little respect there, but very tough talk. So he is really laying out his red lines, exactly what he wants, exactly what he expects, but you never know what's going to happen in these things.
No, and I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. We know where we all stand. The question is, how many people actually really, really care? Honestly, the average person. How many? And part of that is because for the average person who doesn't follow politics, the last 4.5, 5 years was a whirlwind of chaos and craziness and lunacy. And what we're going to get now is not. It's beige, right? It's oatmeal with no cinnamon. It's bland as it gets. For me, I don't mind. I'm kind of a policy wonk. But for the average person that enjoyed the Real Housewives of D.C. and the insanity that wrapped around it, that included the media, they're struggling, just as the Republicans are struggling at time to figure out a way to frame, Joe Biden. How do we frame him? Because people really don't buy into he's this insane, progressive lunatic. And they'll come on Fox News and everywhere else, and they'll tell, oh, yeah, it's the most progressive human being in the history of it. The average person's not buying it. It's tough. So then, we'll go after Kamala Harris. We can go after the border, right? But on the other side, they're trying to figure out how do they recover, in particular the media, from the lack of Trump, the lack of the circus, the lack of the freak show, the lack of 24/7 drama that brought eyeballs. And with those eyeballs came views, clicks, shares, debate, and money. So now hopefully they'll stir something up, right? Like maybe Putin's going to stir something up. Nothing's going to come out of this, but the average person doesn't pay attention at this moment in time. It's just not, it's not doing anything for me. It's not. It's not. I talked to 3 people today. I said, what do you think's going to come out of the Putin and them? And he goes, did they already meet? I thought they already met. These are people who are pretty informed. They just does nothing.
These comments about China, I coined a phrase, the soft language of no expectations, which the media is already in the process of portraying as adult. Isn't this adult? The idea of cooperation being adult. What I've always tried to push is that I would rather have my leader be like an agent or a lawyer that everybody hates. So they don't expect cooperation and that they know it's going to be hard. I don't want them to have, I want the freak show. I don't want this civilized photo op. To me, it's just another game.
And that's all it is, because that's all politics is. It's a game. It's a giant game where everybody plays these weird situations where they're around each other and, they're acting, like, oh, yeah, like we're all wearing masks and we're bumping elbows because we want to show the world how great things are. But the minute, the cameras aren't on, except for a few of them, we find out that we've all taken our mask off and we're hugging each other and we're having a good time and we're laughing as if everything's fine. Well, you just put on theater. It's theater. The difference is the theater that Trump put on and that the media helped him put on for an average individual who watched things was easy to understand, and it was Transformers. So much, and that's what it was, Transformers. Now we got a Wes Anderson movie, right? We've got this guy who's making a movie for art's sake, right? This is the Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonrise Kingdom. One of those movies where you're like, oh, wow, everything's subtle. With Trump, it was a Michael Bay film. Things were blowing up. We're not even out of the credits at the beginning of it. We don't even know who this movie's brought to you by. Who's the executive producer? Don't know. Stuff just blew up. Here comes a robot. Why? I didn't know there was a robot. Nobody did. So that's why people don't pay attention. It's unfortunate that we live in a world where, I was reading today, was it 1 in 5, can't tell you where the redwoods are located, thinks that the Niagara Falls is in Iceland. And you wonder why people don't pay attention. I'm like, they must not have asked the other 4. It's crazy. So we'll see. We'll see how this thing goes. And by the way, it's tomorrow. Where are they meeting? Is Geneva? Was they going to meet in Geneva? They're going to meet somewhere where it's quiet. Yes, they're going to meet somewhere it's quiet. They can sit down and they're going to talk and nothing will come of it. But it'll be fun to watch both sides try to spin something. And as they try to spin it, they try to make it interesting. But I'm just waiting for them to go, look, we can't do this. None of this was interesting. Nothing came out of this. We're moving on with our lives. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Do love hearing from all of you. That being said, we have a new warning. Both sides have their boogeyman nowadays. Both sides have their boogeyman. Because you need that. That's how politics works. Who's your boogeyman? Let me tell you about ours. Right? Sometimes it's immigration. illegal immigration. That's a good boogeyman for some. Sometimes it's QAnon. Like, that's a big one. White supremacy and QAnon is a huge one for the left.
The FBI expressed concern to lawmakers that adherents of QAnon could move from being digital soldiers into real-world violence. Potential targets of such violence, the FBI said, could include Democrats and other perceived members of the cabal. The fear is QAnon followers will disengage from the movement that exists mainly on social media and radicalize once long-promised QAnon-linked events fail to materialize. The FBI has arrested 20 self-identified QAnon adherents who participated in the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah. So that's the boogie. Like, everybody thinks, well, everybody's into QAnon. No, it's not. It's a small group of people that it's just easy because they're easy to hate, right? Like, as far as the media is easy. Oh, they're ignorant. They're stupid. They're, it's simple. That's the boogeyman. On the other side of stuff, right? Where I look at, like, do I worry about QAnon? Well, why would you worry? And I don't worry about QAnon because it's not real. Right? Like, my kid is not learning about QAnon. He's not like, hey, Dad, check this out. I think at Ping Pong Pizza, whatever it was called, there's a bunch of Democrats that are, molesting children and then eating them. Is that happening? I think so. No, it's not happening. They're not learning this, but it's a great thing to do. Right? It's great. Let's get out there. On the other side, you got critical race theory, which I think is an issue because I think it divides us in a ton of ways. And it's a great way right now, too, for the Republicans to go over there and say critical race theory is insane. Because a lot of it is insane. Because nobody has an actual sit down and say, hey, you know what? Let's have a real conversation about race in this country. Let's have a real conversation about a lot of things. Let's teach from all different perspectives without throwing people under the bus, making them go to the back of the bus, tell them they can only be bus drivers, and then everybody else who's white gets to chauffeur them around and somehow they're better, always creating victims. You can't have that. So both sides look for their boogeyman because both sides are trying to feel a need, in particular in the media, which is the thing that we've talked about for years. The thing you covered was interesting. He's gone now. And then you find out, we weren't as interesting as we thought we were. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from all of you. And I'm going to get it, too, from both sides. Oh, Chad, critical race theory is the most dangerous thing in history. And then people are going to say, QAnon is the world's most dangerous thing ever. And I'm just going to go, really? Ever? Ever? Oh, I feel it. Trust me. I know. I understand. I listen to you guys, and then I go, ugh. Not all of you, but some of you. And you know who you are. You do. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Give it to my dogs every single day. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. You go there right now. You get a free bag of Rough Greens. Put it to the test. Try it out. See if it is all it's cracked up to be. Canine Vitamin Smart is amazing. 20 digestive enzymes, omega-3, 6, 9, 15 powerful probiotics. All of this incredible stuff helps your dog, especially when it comes to their joints, energy levels, and overall health. You will see made in a U.S. FDA registered facility. Easy to use. It's just a supplement powder. All natural products. Try it today for free. You pay $8.95, and away it goes. It's all yours, and that is just the shipping. You're not paying for the bag. You pay for shipping. Pay for the shipping. Get a bag free. It's a free trial. They're putting their money where their mouth is. Not a lot of companies are willing to do that. RUFFgreens.com/Chad or call 833-MyDog77. 833-MyDog77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, where we reach across the aisle and occasionally poke someone in the eye.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending.
What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending?
Let's take a peek, see what's trending. Let's see what's trending. Start at Twitter. I just love Twitter because all they do is just fight. People fight over everything. And it's so weird. California reopening. It's a big thing. And it's funny to watch the way that they're doing that. Because when you go look at some of the comments, I can't believe we're opening this early. I'm like, it's been 15 months. We are long gone, flattening the curve, stopping the spread. Oh, my Lord. Apparently, Pink Floyd's Roger Waters say no blanking way Zuckerberg can use our song for an ad. And this is in The Hill. Check it out. What do you mean? Yeah, he's not a fan, apparently, of. I think a lot of people still blame 2016 and Hillary's loss on Facebook. It's like it was his thing. The place that censors people, the place that pulls stuff and gets rid of people they deem, not so much they disagree or don't disagree, it's just the people that we've hired, we've given them leeway to make stuff up. Oh, that's weird. Head on over to Google. Shelby Houlihan, we're going to talk about her in a minute, is a long-distance runner, is going to miss the Olympics. And the reason is because she tested positive for something. And when you hear what she tested positive for and her excuse, I'll just say this. It had to do with food. Not quite sure you buy it. Oh, yeah. Chrissy Teigen is apologizing again. If you guys don't know who she is, she's married to John Legend. And she was the ringleader in a lot of ways of cancel culture. Right? So she was this big ringleader in cancel culture, like a lot of other people are always pushing for. Oh, you need to be held accountable. You need to do all these things. And lo and behold, apparently, she was awful to a ton of people. And she's since been herself somewhat canceled, including the fact that she went after Courtney Stodden, who was young, and she married an actor that was way older than she was. And she called her horrible things, told her to go kill herself at one point when she was still under the age of, I think, 18. She went after Lindsay Lohan and Farrah Abraham, and she really torched some of these people. But it goes back to the cancel culture world that we live in, where some of it's ridiculous. Look, did she say stuff years ago? Yeah, that she shouldn't have said. She did. Does she deserve to lose everything for it? Nah, I don't think so. Especially, people say stupid things. There's this neat article today, and I've read it a couple times, and it's the right to be forgotten. In Europe, there is laws that are put in place when it comes to digital erasing of stuff when it comes to kids. Should we have something like that here? Because what you say at 13 or 15 or even 17, 18 isn't really at your 26. I mean, you're stupid. You say stuff. We're holding you accountable in an adult way for something you did as a child. That's not a crime. And should we look at stuff like that? Because too often than not, we're revisiting history of somebody, usually at the time when they're starting to break through in something, so we can destroy them. And by we, I mean whoever's doing this. And it's nuts. It really is. People say and do stupid things. Should they be punished forever? Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
So, Andy, in terms of what may happen in the future, do you think that we are ready for another pandemic, which inevitably is going to come and affect us?
I don't think we are. And I don't think we are for a couple reasons. One is I think we need to have a dialogue in this country about what matters. Is it more important for us to have our individual liberties?
Yes. Whatever you say after this is yes.
That we don't wear a mask? Or is there some common good that we should all be working towards?
Common good's great, but liberties, of course. Liberties are the most important thing. Liberties is what defines us and separates us from other parts of the world. The liberties, Andy Slavitt, the guy who runs Medicare and all this other stuff this week, right? Like, isn't that what he does? He's a senior advisor, part of the Biden COVID-19 response team. And I've talked to Andy. He's a very nice guy. I think we underestimate in many ways how important that document is that guarantees us the liberties that we have. Have people been Richards out there? Have there been too many Karens about mask wearing? I'm not going to wear a mask. You can't ask me to do. No, they can. It's a store that's theirs, and they can ask you to do whatever the hell they want to do. And if you don't want to do it, well, then you know what? They don't have to serve you. And we could be better. But the liberties thing is very real. And it was completely forgotten, I think, by a lot of people out there who lived in so much fear and were willing to trade some of those liberties for the hopes of being safe, that it was ridiculous. But it also goes back to the fact that we still have trouble having real conversations in this country without people losing their mind. Right? So, yeah, Americans, you know what? As an American, I sacrificed in a lot of different ways. But comparatively to what? What are my first world problems? Let's go over those things again. Of my first world problems. Let's do this again. Let's go over my first world problem. They're making me wear a mask into a giant store with all the food I could ever dream of. How dare they? They've taken away my freedoms. No. We as Americans can go, you know what? You're asking me to wear a mask. If it makes other people feel better, they're going to spend money. Now, you come into my house and you tell me I got to wear a mask, you can get the blank out. You come into my car. So much of this stuff, especially at the local level, was overdone and stupid with COVID. Say, oh, you guys, you can't have barbecues outside because the barbecue, because the, what? I have to go to the park, everybody mask. Wait, what? Like stupid stuff. We get that. But yeah, when we got to ask ourselves, it's not about the liberties, it's about, hey, can we be better to each other, right? We don't have to agree. But I also have to say, you know what? This person's got a job here. I want to do my best I can for this person who's got a job here, who's working and is putting themselves in a position on a daily basis to run into a bunch of a-holes who may be sick themselves and potentially get this person sick. If it makes them feel better and I can make their job easier, I got no problems with that. Now, you ask me to do other things that go against my liberties and freedom, well, then we're going to have a conversation. But the thought process of, maybe we need to give up a little bit of our liberty. No, we don't need to do that, Andy. We don't. But we can be better to each other. Shouldn't be that hard. But we make it hard because that's what we do. That's become our new sport. Fighting with each other over stupid things that don't matter in a world. Man, I was driving to work today. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I'm driving to work today, and I'm like, man, life is pretty awesome. It's pretty sweet. It's like we're living the dream. Can we just be real? Even our poor people are like, they're living the dream. It's like comparatively to a lot of other people around the globe, they are super living the dream. You don't have a job? Don't worry. We're going to make sure you have some money. We have more food than we know what to do. We have more. I'm watching yesterday's soccer game. Let's give you the difference between us and even first world nations that we look at. Spain's soccer team is playing. They had a bit of an outbreak about 3 weeks ago to get ready for the European Soccer Championships. So they had to set up 3 teams. 3 teams. They had their under 21 team ready. They had a shadow team. And then they had their first team. And the reason was simple. None of them were vaccinated. Why is that? Because people under the age of 40 weren't allowed to get vaccinated and still aren't. The president had to come in with a decree, basically asked the Spanish people, should the Spanish team be vaccinated? They finally said yes. They just got vaccinated. We have so much vaccination, we're like, all right, here's the deal. I was talking to my uncle yesterday. He got a call, and they basically offered him $100 if you want to get vaccinated, because that's what states are doing now. You want a $50 gift card to Amazon? You want $100? We're trying to give it all away. Can't do it. We have so much. We are swimming in it. Yeah, we are super blessed. We are. So every once in a while, you can make a sacrifice without sacrificing your liberties. But to tell people that we got to choose between the two is the dumbest thing ever. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Well, this is an interesting story. You have the best, arguably, long-distance runner in America, Shelby Houlihan. She's been banned for 4 years. She was a hopeful in Tokyo because she tested positive for a drug that's banned.
Shelby tested positive for a substance called nandrolone back in January. The AIU did not announce it because nandrolone is not a straightforward analysis. It's an endogenous compound, which means it naturally occurs in the body. It's one of the hardest substances to figure out where it came from.
Yeah. That's why people use it to cheat. Now, did she cheat? Well, according to them, she did. According to them, she is the American holder of the 1,500 meters and the 5,000 meters. How did she get this? Did she do it on purpose? Well, her story is interesting.
In Shelby's case, and she ate a burrito about 10 hours before from a Mexican restaurant that we concluded very, very early on contained pig organ meat. Pig organ meat is one of the sources for nandrolone.
Now, that is very true. You could go look that up. It is true that is one of the pig organ meat does have nandrolone in it. I went and I looked all this stuff. I'm like, I can't believe that at like 3 a.m, I'm reading about pig organ meat and like, could you test positive? Is it possible to test positive for this? And going back quite a ways, they've talked about the consumption of this meat in pork of all kinds, from boar to just regular old run-of-the-mill pigs. Even, they've talked about certain, certain bulls and stuff. Is it possible? Anything's possible in life, right? And let's be real. World Anti-Doping Agency is fraught with all kinds of issues itself. Eating pork can give you a false positive for nandrolone. But it is weird, right? It is weird. That's what she said.
In the following 5 days after being notified, I put together a food log of everything that I consumed the week of that December 15th test. We concluded that the most likely explanation was a burrito purchased and consumed approximately 10 hours before that drug test from an authentic Mexican food truck that happens to serve pig offal near my house in Beaverton, Oregon.
Okay. Did you know that was a possibility? I don't know. Is it a possibility? Anything's a possibility. Did she cheat? That's just it. Don't know. We don't not know. I mean, you would assume, right? Because you hear athlete, you think automatically they cheat. You hear, and it's weird because cheating's done in a different way, right? Like, so baseball's going through this right now, where 15 years ago, baseball was saved because chicks dig the long ball, right? And you're looking out there and you're going, yeah. People are paying attention. After 94, nobody cared about baseball. They had a strike. Baseball was gone. It was done. It was dusted. It was over. People were like, they were slow to coming back to the game. 96 pops up. Oh, my goodness. Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa are hitting balls farther than you would think a human should hit a ball. And they're not just hitting one or two of these. They're doing it non-stop. Non-stop. And then lo and behold, everybody's cheating, right? They're like, hey, Barry Bonds, let's take a look at him. Remember when Barry was like 6'1" and 185 pounds? Yeah. Well, now he's 6'1", 280 pounds, and his hat's grown. We think there may be issues. That's bad cheating. Everybody's in trouble because you took something. It's a different kind of cheating, though, right? Because now it's like baseball. Nobody's watching baseball because, well, first of all, it's baseball. Secondly, pitchers are doctoring the ball. That's a different kind of cheating, right? Like, they put stuff on the ball, but they're not putting stuff in their arm.
Talking with officials in baseball, they would love it if pitchers who are using this clean up on their own. As one source said to me, I love the fact that you're talking about this. I love the fact that you're writing about this because we don't want to suspend anybody. We want pitchers simply to stop using this stuff.
So that's bad. This is different. Like, say, guys, stop using it. We know you're cheating. Baseball is full of cheating. Like, my dad played pro baseball. He used to tell me, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's part of baseball. Getting an edge. If you watch Major League, right? Charlie Sheen says that old guy, you put snot on the ball. Well, I don't have an arm like you. Yeah, they do everything. It's a little bit. It's a different kind of cheating, right? It's a different kind. It's like card counting is a different kind of cheating than this. This, though, was you've got something in your body you're not supposed to have, and you're blaming a burrito. Honey, I've eaten a lot of burritos, and I've had to take drug tests. Nobody's ever said, hey, Chad, those burritos, you know what they've said? You should lay off the burritos. Not because they thought, Chad's, no, it's because, Chad's got a little plump. That's what I'd like to, guys. Yeah, I'm going to test positive today for nandrolone because I ate too many pork burritos. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I've tested positive for nandrolone. I ate too many burritos. I'm like, oh, we're sorry, Cindy. I don't know if this is true or not, but I have a feeling there is going to be lots of lawsuits and going along the way. People do everything to try to prove their innocence, as you should if you really haven't done anything. But when it comes to sports, it is funny how we have different kinds of cheatings and what we will and won't accept. Put something in your body, super bad cheater. You're evil and bad. You're a super bad cheater. The other side of things is like, well, yeah, I doctored the ball a little bit. And, well, still, so don't do that. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. MyPillow has the MyPillow for sale. Lowest price ever. Not going to sleep in a situation where you wake up in the morning, it's like, my head hurts, my neck hurts. No, stop that. The MyPillow, right now, $29.98. It's the original. It's a queen size, $5 more. Get you a king size. Never goes flat while sleeping. Withstands washing and drying, which is good. Made in the USA, 10-year warranty, 6-day money-back guarantee, lowest price ever. Sleep better every night. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, enter promo code Benson, call 800-983-4975. Right there. Check out all the other super deep discounts on the My Slippers, the Giza Dream Sheets, the all of the products, especially the mattress topper. You guys will love those. So get your premium pillow today, $29.98, $5 more for a king size. Use the promo code Benson at MyPillow.com or call 800-983-4975. Chad Benson Show.
get over it. It's time to forge a new path with your very own political cartographer, Chad.
But just because I support another thing doesn't mean I don't support straight people too. Just because I'm Mexican doesn't mean I don't also support black people, or Irish people, or ignorant people.
Just said you get ignored.
Would you like a special unicorn cupcake for being straight jerk?
Yes.
All right, come here. Get a straight jerk cupcake for being a pill. You are annoying. You were very successful. Congratulations.
Thanks.
What a all right.
What?
A dick, a butthead, a weasel, pain in my butt. Everybody's welcome to a unicorn cupcake.
A unicorn cupcake's the teacher right there. She called the student a Richard. I'd have been like, I'm okay with that. Look, probably you're a jerk. Probably. I'm okay with that. I can readily admit it then. There you go. You're awful. Okay, that's fine. Can I get a cupcake? It's a mean jerk cupcake. Does it taste like everybody else's cupcakes? The unicorn cupcakes? Yeah. Okay, then I'll take that. I'm fine with it. The last days of school. So much fun. Remember when you were a kid? And you get to that last week, you took all your tests, and then you're like, man, we still have 4 days left. There's nothing to do. Nothing. Right? I'm going to roll in that projector, the TV thing, and like, hey, we're going to watch movies. Like, what are you guys doing? Yeah. We're watching stupid movies. Oh, that's horrible. And then what? And then, this is like always a day where it's like us versus the teachers in something. She made cupcakes for him being a straight jerk. Well, it's not very nice. You can say that, though. If you're a straight jerk, you can totally say that to somebody. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. They have tagged a shark on Rhode Island. They have tagged a lot of sharks on the northeastern side of the country. Most of them great white sharks. And the reason's simple. They're starting to appear in abundance. They want to know why. Is there a fear of what may happen? Are they there to eat you? They are not. Doesn't mean they won't try if given the opportunity to have a taste because they're not, well, equipped with thumbs. People are worried.
I'm kind of concerned.
Then don't go in the water. Saves your life. So that's it. For those of you not keeping score, saves your life. If you're worried about being eaten by a shark, you know what you don't do? Then don't go in the water.
Now that I know this, I'll be more aware. But we should all be aware anyway.
Yeah. I think we'd all be terrified to know how many large creatures that could do us harm swim very, very close to us in the ocean, and you never have any idea. It shows you how much they really don't care about you. But every once in a while, they just take a little bite, and then it causes a problem. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
You know why we can't have nice things in certain places? Because we allow people to do whatever the hell they want, hold them with no accountability or responsibility whatsoever. And we do it under the guise of we're just trying to be nice. We're just trying to be nice. That's all we're trying to do is be nice. That's it. We're not trying to do anything other than just trying to be nice. If you go to my Twitter page, at Chad Benson Show, you will see a person who rolls in to a Walgreens in San Francisco. And I say rolls in not because he's in a wheelchair, but because he's on a 10-speed with a giant hefty bag, one of those big, like 30-quart hefty bags. He then proceeds in an aisle to scoop as much as he can into said hefty bag and then proceeds to wander out. Listen to some of the stuff as it falls into it.
911.
Scoop. Wow. They're just taking pictures. There's a lot of stuff he's throwing in there. He goes on his little bike. The way he goes out the door, people are just watching and blindly paying for their stuff when you could just walk out. Nobody seems to care. I posted this, and people, you've always got those bleeding heart liberals. Maybe they couldn't afford, all the shaving stuff? How much is he shaving? I'm just curious. What's he shaving? You guys have no idea. My friend's got lycanthropia. He's got the werewolf boy disease? Yeah, we're trying to clean him up. He's got a job interview. We can't afford anything. We're really trying. No. It's because they know they're going to get away with it. Well, Walgreens, and like many other companies, tell their people that work there not to pursue anybody. I get that. It's not about the store or their policy. It's about the city's policy to not pursue these things. Don't worry about it. We'll let him go. Don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Let him go. Let him go. Just don't worry about it. It's okay, right? You got Oregon and Washington State looking at maybe we should have a law of necessity. So if somebody steals something, but it's a necessity, then we're not going to prosecute them. Who pays for that? Anyone? The store. Who then pays the store? We do. Why? Because prices go up. Got to have more security. I'm going to have a ton of losses. I'm going to be closing stores in certain areas, which is happening. Walgreens is getting rid of stores in Northern California fast. Why? Because they know. Why should we have something open? And then what happens? People start complaining. Why? Why don't they have these stores in our neighborhood? Because of stuff like this. Because you continue to hire people. By that I mean vote people in who consistently ignore things out of the kindness of people's hearts. Not everybody is just a wayward soul who's trying to feed their family. The majority of them have mental health issues, but a lot of them are just looking to take advantage of certain things because they know there's zero repercussions. This is insane. It is insane. Just roll it on in. Just, you know what? I mean, at that point, don't you just kind of want to try if you live there? Just look, I would go and tell the manager, look, I'm going to give it all back, but I just want to see what your employees are going to do. I want to see what anybody else is going to do. I want to see if anybody's going to even say anything to me. And just roll in and just dump a bunch of crap in something. And just tell them, look, I'll even come back tonight. When you close the place, I'll put the stuff back. It's more of we're just to see what people would do. But based on this, I don't think they'll do a damn thing. And when you call the police, what are they going to say? We got 50,000 of these. What do you want us to do? You're pissed somebody stole your shampoo? That's all right. It's only every day, all the time. But that's cool. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. They probably enjoyed having the stores closed in a lot of ways with limited capacity because they saved money. But now that everything's free-flowing again in California, expect this thing to be crazy and more free-for-alls. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. They meet tomorrow. Mano a mano. 1v1. The Pooter. The Biden. Two men will enter, and they'll both leave, and nothing will change.
The expectations, according to the White House, are so low for this summit that just the fact that they're meeting and having a conversation right now is a good thing. Now, one thing we've seen with the Biden administration since they came into office in January is that on things like COVID-19 and vaccines, they sometimes under-promise so that they can over-deliver. And I think you might be seeing a little bit of that with this summit.
Yeah, I don't know what the summit's going to bring. I really don't. They're going to sit there and stare at each other. Very little expectations. I think for a lot of people, like, I just hope Biden doesn't fall asleep. And somebody needs to test Biden's food before, because we all ever know the pooter who Biden's called a killer, and he was asked that question. Right? He was asked that question about, hey, you can call him a killer to his face?
Vladimir Putin laughed at the suggestion that you had called him a killer. Is that still your belief, sir, that he is a killer? Do you believe if he does agree to cooperate, what kind of a challenge do you find yourself in? How would you ever trust him? Reagan said, trust but verify. What do you say to Vladimir Putin?
To answer the first question,
that's not
I'm laughing too. I believe he has in the past essentially acknowledged that there are certain things that he would do or did do. When I was asked that question on air, I answered it honestly. I don't think it matters a whole lot in terms of this next meeting we're about to have.
Yeah. Well, no, because he's going to look over. And two things. You know that he has killed. And by the way, we're not just talking about journalists and political people that are his rivals that have mysteriously fallen out of hotel room floors or have been in tea shops in London and then 3 hours later they're in intensive care because they've been given some sort of poison and nobody knows how it got there. I think you go back to pre-Putin as prime minister, president / ultimate czar ruler of Russia, when he was head of the KGB and many other things, yeah, probably was a killer. Not only do I think he knows where the bodies are buried, I think he shot them, poisoned them, hung them, dug the holes, buried in themselves. So, yeah. But he's the president now, and we're going to have a conversation. I don't know what it's going to be about. Cybersecurity. They're screwing us over and over again. We know it. They know it. You're going to have any talk that's going to be tough? I mean, that's what I want to know. I think a lot of people do. Because you keep telling me they're the things that we should be terrified of when everybody goes, no, I think it's China. China should be the one. I think China's the one we should all be worried about. I think Russia is a lot of noise for a country that really isn't what it once was in the Soviet Union and isn't quite the threat that many people think. I'm more worried about the economic battle going on with China. But we'll see. We'll see. And Greg Gutfeld, I like what he said here about, a bit of this freak show.
These comments about China, I coined a phrase, the soft language of no expectations, which the media is already in the process of portraying as adult. Isn't this adult? The idea of cooperation being adult. What I've always tried to push is that I would rather have my leader be like an agent or a lawyer that everybody hates. So they don't expect cooperation and that they know it's going to be hard. I don't want them to have, I want the freak show. I don't want this civilized photo op. To me, it's just another game.
Yeah, it is another game. And that's what this is all about. It's a game that's going to be played in a political way that is going to achieve very little, because tomorrow they're going to laugh as they leave and the Russians are going to go do whatever the hell the Russians are told to do based on Putin. And we're going to come back and we're going to say it was constructive. We're going to hold their feet to the fire. You've already given him what he wanted. Some of that was based on the fact that Angela Merkel, the outgoing chancellor of Germany, wanted this pipeline. But now he'll have a chance to screw financially and with the people in certain parts of Europe based on the fact that he's got the spigot that he can turn on and off or jack up their prices. So you gave him that. And I get Germany played a big role in that. They really wanted it for whatever reason. Like, we really, really want. Oh, yeah, that's right, because you're getting rid of nuclear. But at the end of the day, what's going to come out of this? Yes, you need to have conversations. You do. And that's a great thing. But is anything really going to change? No. And part of that is because he's looking at you going, this is very old school, easy kind of politics to play with. But if you're Biden, just as much as people got on Trump for giving people a voice, he's meeting with Kim Jong-un. That's insane. Why would he do something like that? Well, we tried the other way. It didn't work. We've always tried to meet with Putin, and none of it seems to work. At some point in time, maybe the best thing to do is just ignore the hell out of him. That should drive him crazy. We see what it does with Kim Jong-un. Drives him crazy. Then he starts testing nuclear weapons, and we all have to pay him something. So we've tried one way. Maybe we try it this way with this guy. Maybe we throw more sanctions out there instead of less. Maybe we push back in a much quieter way, flexing the muscles. Just things you could throw out there. And maybe tomorrow you look at him and go, yeah, I do believe you're a killer. And I believe you are awful. And you're going to say a bunch of crap about my country and how bad. And just come at him like Eminem did in 8 Mile. Just come out and say, these are all the things you're going to tell the people. How bad we are, right? What happened on January 6th and blah, 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 blah. You're going to come out and you're going to say all those things. Here's what you are. You're a stone cold killer who's an absolute crime boss who runs his country with an iron fist and a wink, wink, nudge, nudge for the beautiful people and give them just enough to survive, but not enough to thrive. And if anybody crosses you, they end up dead. Maybe that's a surprise. Maybe. Or cough a lot when you're around him. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. I love hearing from every single one of you kids and kittens. I do. My pillow. Let me tell you about the pillow that is my pillow. It is the My Pillow. What do you get with it? Well, you get a lot of different stuff, kids. First and foremost, you get yourself the My Pillow for $29.95 or $98. $40 savings, lowest price it's ever been. It's never going to go and just lose all of it. It's just going to go flat. It's never going to do that, right? You can wash it. You can dry it. 6-day money-back guarantee, made in the USA. It's awesome. For $5 more, you get the king-size My Pillow. They have great deals across all of their products. You go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson. Check out their My Slippers, the Giza Dream sheets, the towels, the mattress topper, all of the things, and save big. You do it by going to MyPillow.com, radio listener special. Type in code Benson. Save big right there. MyPillow.com, radio listener special. MyPillow.com. Chad Benson Show.
Podcasts are American as hot dogs, apple pie, football, and sushi.
Oh, my goodness. No.
Okay, maybe not sushi. Next time you have a craving for something sweet and tangy, download a Chad Benson Show podcast.
Boy, that is good. It's different. You get a little bit of saltiness. It's so good because it's sweet and salty at the same time.
Get a taste on iTunes, iHeart, or Spotify and binge to your ears' content.
Oh, yeah.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
SCOTUS will have 5 big, huge, ginormous things that they will be ruling on here in the coming days. But one of the things they're panicked about, especially the people on the left, is there's a guy there they kind of like to get rid of and has nothing to do with the right side of the aisle.
All of these progressive Democratic groups right now who were so burned, stunned by the death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
First of all, can we just say this? She was 100. She was 100 with cancer. Of all of the stunned you should be, that shouldn't be one of them. That shouldn't be. I'm just saying. I know it was because it was under Trump's watch. Like, if only she could have lived a little while longer. But let's give the lady a break, right? She should have retired under Obama.
On the watch of Donald Trump. They say Breyer has to go now. No more waiting. We need to get a younger liberal justice on the bench while the Democrats have control of the United States Senate.
Yeah, because McConnell's already come out and said, if I'm in control of the Senate and there's an opening, I'm not going to give him a chance to be heard, which is what you expect because it's full contact karate, and that's what politics is all about. So, everybody's like, Joy Reid claims evil Mitch McConnell planning to pack SCOTUS with conservative justices. You think? Just out of curiosity, if Biden could, would he pack it all with left-leaning judges? Yeah. So does that make him evil? No, it just makes him a politician. That's it. It makes him politician. They're all trying to figure out what side they're on, how this works. All right, who am I repping again? These people? All right. So they've got big cases coming up that they're going to rule on, including the thing that I'm interested in, actually. To me, that I find to be very interesting is sports, college. Can players earn money off their likeness? Not being paid from the school, outside entities. It'll be interesting to see how they rule. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We live in this crazy world of wokeness, and you sit back sometimes and you shake your head, and I've got friends who's like, dude, you started talking about this years ago. I didn't really think anything of it. Now it's like it's everywhere. I said, yeah, it is. And what's funny is the craziness of, like, in particular, Hollywood. Like, Hollywood will get in your face, and they'll tell you basically everything you should believe, how to believe it, where to believe it, why to believe it. You have no choice but to believe it and to respect it. Otherwise, they're going to come for you, and they're going to do it. And if you get canceled, that's your fault for being a meanie and a jerk face, for having a different point of view. And over the weekend, Bill Maher was talking about some stuff. And one of the things he talks about, like friends, right? People say America's the most racist country, in the world. It's more racist now than ever, which we all know is a bunch of crap. And he was making fun of the fact that liberals have progressophobia. But he got onto the Friends reunion, right, that we just had. And there's been a big debate, like, could you do Friends today? Not like that. I mean, now it would have to be, you'd have to have a trans person, some of the LGBT community. Besides that, you'd have to have, an androgynous person. You have to go through the gamut of people, because that's what you have to do now.
In a country that's 14% black, 18% of the incoming class of Harvard is black. And since 2017, white students are not even a majority in our public college. Employees of color make up 47% of Microsoft, 50% of Target, 55% of the Gap. The Friends reunion we just had looked weird, because if you even suggested a show today about 6 people, all of whom were straight and white, the network would laugh you out of the room and then cancel you on Twitter.
Yeah. Right? But the Friends reunion was played in China. And it was edited. They allowed them to edit it. Why? First, Lady Gaga. What has she done? Well, she's evil. She met with the Dalai Lama in 2016. Mr. Bieber, who was also in there, I'm a believer. 2014, he posted a photo from the Yakutsuki Shrine in Tokyo, which honors Japan's war dead, including war criminals from World War II, as far as China's concerned. And BTS from South Korea, who neglected last year to mention the sacrifice of Chinese troops when recalling the pain of the Korean War, even though the troops fought on the side of the North. So they were all edited out. Questions that people had, including somebody who was, how should we say, part of the LGBT community, also edited out, because you can't have that over there. All the while, they'll tell you. You had John Cena cowering to them in Mandarin. Who's the head of the WWE? Xi Jinping. Why? Because he got John Cena to cower in Mandarin to him over F9 for daring to say Taiwan gets to see it first. It's the first. Oh, how dare you do that? How dare you do that? Yeah, it's just it's hilarious. We've come so far, but at the same time, we are also allowing countries to dictate certain things and do it on the basis of, well, not because it's right? Not because you're insulting them for real. It's because you met with the Dalai Lama. I was talking to producer Anthony off the air. We were having a conversation. He said he went the other day to Target to get something like a Leapfrog, one of those globes for a young kid who's turning 4. And he starts looking at the reviews, and then he looks at the thing. China, it's made there. They had redrawn what China is. Tibet, Nepal, Taiwan, no longer countries. They're part of China. Like, that's... People just like, yeah, totally. It's crazy. It is. And that's the world of wokeness we live in. That they're going to tell you that you should act a certain way, be a certain way. You want to know why people are frustrated with Hollywood? Because there's an underserved group of people, half of America, that just want to be entertained. They don't want to be preached to. They just want to be entertained. Right? They don't want anything other than that. Just give me a good story. They talk, he just said that, if you walked in and tried to pitch a show today about, 5 white people that are all straight, you'd be laughed out of the room. We were in Netflix a couple months ago, and they said, if people bring us stuff that's super woke now, we're just telling them no. It's got to be entertaining. We've lost the plot, and we're losing more and more of it. And we don't want to tell people that. But yeah, Of course you do. Right? You want to make it seem like it. And that's the sad thing. That's the hypocrisy of everything. And progressive phobia is so very real. It is so very real. We would never, ever want to tell anybody that we've actually gotten better at stuff. We don't want to tell people that. Don't tell people that. Don't tell people that things are better, because there's money in stuff that's not good. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, 33,000 feet in the air, and you hear your pilot say, hello, we need some help.
The skies weren't so friendly on Delta Flight 1730 Friday night. The pilot turning to passengers for help during the cross-country trip from Los Angeles to Atlanta.
We'd like all strong males to the front of the aircraft to handle the problem passenger.
Moments earlier, the unruly passenger, an off-duty Delta flight attendant, yelling and struggling with others mid-flight next to the cabin door.
Everyone was completely shaken up. It was extremely scary.
You know what's funny is I guarantee somebody heard that go, so why does it have to be strong males? Why can't it be strong females? All right, let's just for a second live in a world of reality. Because you see, there was an issue with a passenger who happens to not be a regular passenger, happens to be a passenger that is all gussied up, if you will, with sporting equipment of which a game is not being played.
This individual had claimed that they would take the plane down. Now, according to that Delta spokesperson who confirms that it was in fact one of their flight attendants who was traveling aboard that flight off duty at the time of this incident. What initially started this is when this individual started using the onboard PA system to make various announcements, and when the air crew tried to address that is what initially started this altercation. Witnesses describe as this individual attacking 2 of the flight attendants on board. That's when many of these extremely brave passengers and sprang into action.
Yeah, sprang in the action and whooped up on his ass, as you should have done. Look, what happened in 9/11 is never going to happen again. You're never going to have anybody ever again come out and go, open the door, we're going to let in and get let in and take over. That's just never going to happen. It isn't. Now, that doesn't mean that a pilot couldn't be in on something, but this pilot wasn't. But it is weird to think, right? Like you're flying 33,000 feet in the air. I don't know these people. I don't know if he's having a good day or a bad day. I don't know if she's frustrated with life at this moment in time. And you're just turning yourself over saying, all right, I trust that today's the day you don't want to end it because your relationship failed or because you've got a gambling problem, whatever it is. I'm trusting that. This was a flight attendant, though. I want you to listen to this part. It's very interesting.
Plane making an emergency landing in Oklahoma City, where it was swept by police and cleared. Passengers say the man's appearance raised eyebrows even before the flight.
So immediately before the flight, people are like, this is a bit odd. Why is that?
Seen wearing a helmet, elbow and knee pads, and acting strange. Authorities pointing to signs of mental health issues.
And we're going to go over that again. All right? So we're going to go over that one more time. We're getting on an airplane. Okay? Passengers are looking over.
Raised eyebrows even before the flight. Seen wearing a helmet.
So I'm getting on an airplane or anything. I look over and I say,
seen wearing a helmet.
Is a man who's getting on an airplane. What else?
Elbow and knee pads.
I'm not quite sure that looks good. So you've got a helmet, elbow and knee pads, and we're getting on an airplane. My first thought is, is there going to be turbulence? And the second thought is, special? Oh, that's a flight attendant. It's one of our flight attendants. Oh, it's one of your flight attendants. But he's got a, like, if he got on the airplane and then he went and he changed and he put the stuff on, people didn't see that, right? I had no idea he was going to do that. I had zero idea dude was putting on the helmet. I didn't even know he had it with. The fact that he's wearing a helmet, knee pads, and elbow pads, and he is anything else going on?
And acting strange.
So he's acting strange. He's got knee pads, elbow pads, and a helmet. And nobody thought, we should probably take him aside and have questions. I'm not saying, but I'm just thinking for the public's safety that maybe there are issues here that need to be addressed that we don't need to address at 33,000 feet. Maybe we've got issues here that are a bit much for the average person to handle who's not a doctor or a counselor. But what I do know is if I'm at a movie theater and the person next to me is wearing elbow pads, knee pads, a helmet, and is acting strange, I'm probably going to say something like, hey, can I have my money back? There's a guy in there who's got stuff on that I feel like he's getting ready to do battle. Wouldn't that be most people's response? You would think so. Why didn't they? That's a fair question. Why didn't they do that? And you know what? One of the things that people are saying is, was it because he was black? I don't know. I don't. So what I do know, though, is any human being wearing those things, getting on a transport, if that happened on a bus, and I expect weird things on a bus, that would still be kind of even weirder than you would think. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Geneva tomorrow. They face off. Biden taking on the Pooter and what will be a conversation about all kinds of things, mostly cybersecurity and some other stuff like that. I'm sure accusations will fly. You interfered with our elections, and they'll say, no, you interfered with our elections, and I don't know what's going to come out of it. And then they're going to hold, instead of a joint press conference, which happens a lot of time, they're going to have singular press conference where they'll accuse each other of stuff, and then he'll fly home. I just want to see how tough he's going to be. And I think a lot of people do, especially when you talk tough. Now's your chance to put up or shut up. Maybe you should wear a helmet, especially around Pooter. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Canine VitaSmart is now available to you free. That's right. They're giving it to you for free. First bag's free. You try it. They want to see how your dog reacts to it. You pay for shipping. It's that simple. It's just that simple. You pay for the shipping. You get to try it. See the difference it makes for your dog's joint pain, their overall energy level, their coat. It's vitamins, minerals, probiotics, digestive enzymes, all these amazing things, and it is incredible. What it's done for my dogs is transformed my older dog like you couldn't believe, and my young dogs love it, and they're healthy, they're happy, they're bouncy. Get your Rough Greens now. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. You pay for shipping, they're giving you a bag for free. RUFFgreens.com/Chad or call 833-MY-DOG-77, 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
I'm so tired. I'm exhausted.
If you're part of the politically exhausted majority, don't fear. Your time to be validated and rejuvenated is here. Wake up. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Well, what's your favorite pizza topping? I prefer
Pepperoni and sausage. That's all you need to know. That's what should be on pizza, barbecue, all this weird stuff they put. None of this is what pizza's about. But you continue, ma'am.
pepperoni.
I like mushrooms and green peppers.
Well, some apparently prefer cicadas, and these customers decided to ask a local restaurant in Dayton to put cicadas on their pie, and as you can see here, they were chewing it up and really enjoyed it. Pizza Bandit agreed and held a Facebook live stream to test out the spicy Thai cicada pizza. Cicadas almost look a little bit like olives, so it's a little distracting. I'm glad they're dead, because if they're moving around, that would just be worse.
That's not very nice, Chad. That's just gross. It's nasty. Right? Like just, but the whole thought, you went to college and that's like, I'm glad they're dead now. They're not moving around. What if they have nandrolone in it? And then when I go to take a test, I'm going to be kicked out of the Olympics because I ate something that had nandrolone. If you guys haven't heard, America's best hope, I think, for long-distance running when it comes to track and field has been suspended. She tested positive for nandrolone.
Shelby tested positive for a substance called nandrolone back in January. The AIU did not announce it because nandrolone is not a straightforward analysis. It's an endogenous compound, which means it naturally occurs in the body. It's one of the hardest substances to figure out where it came from.
Yeah, she said she ate something off a truck.
In the following 5 days after being notified, I put together a food log of everything that I consumed the week of that December 15th test. We concluded that the most likely explanation was a burrito purchased and consumed approximately 10 hours before that drug test from an authentic Mexican food truck that happens to serve pig offal near my house in Beaverton, Oregon.
Yeah. Pig offal. Thank God it's not cicadas. So they drug tested her, found out in January, probably did some other tests, and they've suspended her now. She's not going to accept it. She's not going to take this lying down. I don't know if it's true or not, but I was thinking today, nobody ever tests, like you never test the guy at work for drugs, like that kind of drugs. It's like, dude, you guys hear? Yeah, Tim tested positive for anabolic steroids. No wonder he's crushing it right now. The guy's making like 200 phone calls a day. That's not fair. He's been using performance-enhancing drugs for a long time, and we were telling people, weren't we? We were telling everybody. It's just no way. He was the worst salesperson. Now he's the best. I think all of those things should be legal in every sport. And I think maybe they should make people in the office take them. I'm on HGH. Tell me more, Linda. Yeah, I'm crushing it now. I'm the best nurse you've ever seen. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet, text. Have a blessed, wonderful day. We will do it again tomorrow. Get yourself a taco because it's that kind of day. Taco Tuesday. Night, night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.